as great and holy and spiritual as we possibly can. The idea of commandments, and I always say this, the word mitzvah, mitzvot, everyone says it means commandments. What about last night? It doesn't really mean commandments. The word mitzvot is from the root savta. Savta means connections. Why? Because the commandments are all the ways you connect to make yourself spiritual, to be able to experience God. If you know how to relate to people, to animals, to the floor, Jews are so crazy. When we go and we bench, we say the Birkat Hamazon at the end, we thank the table. Right? We say, God should bless this table we ate on. Come on, we're thanking the table? Thank you, table! Right? Thank you for letting me write on it. What is this? It's crazy. The reason is because you have to learn how to relate to everything in the world. So the mitzvot are learning how to relate to human beings, to all entities, and relating to God. When we do that properly, what happens is we perfect ourselves, and then we're able to connect and experience eternity as godliness, because we become like God. See, the more, I said this last night, and I'm going to share this because it's a wild story. The sages tell us there's one form of punishment a person might experience after they die, like this. Imagine a person, and their whole life was a weightlifter, just lifting weights. All they wanted to do was pump iron. Here's an example last night. They wanted to pump iron. The sages say what happens when they die, you know what happens? They take that consciousness with them. Their soul leaves, and they go, where's the gym? I'm going to pump some iron. They have no body. It's very painful. In this life, what you want to do is you want to sensitize yourself to being a spiritual, holy, wonderful, kind, great person. You can experience godliness in this reality and afterwards. So getting there means making ourselves as spiritual and holy and good and proper as we can. The mitzvot are the connection points that enable us to do that. Any other questions, thoughts? It comes out Tova, it comes out so you have to do also.
Where do you draw the line?
That's a great question. Where's the line between everything is for good and you have to do? The answer is you have to do everything you have to do. The point really came from the question you asked me before. So when you try something once, twice, and it doesn't go, then you have to take a step back. You have to try to read. I always say God sends love letters every day. Try to read them. So what happens is that you make your efforts, and when the thing goes in the way that if you didn't expect it to go, then you have to reconcile. But you're supposed to make your efforts. This doesn't preclude saying just sit back and say, oh, it's all for good. That would be the first example, which is taking the wrong directions. The chess example I gave you before. The person's taking very bad routes. Okay, thank you all.